The sun is brutal out here. Whew. Man, the sun is out in full fury now. Oh, I'm getting tore up by these flies. Amazing how fast they bite you. It's the second they land on you, they're biting you. Wow, that is vast. Looks like the ocean out there. Oh my gosh, this is not gonna be fun. That is beautiful. Time to fly the drone. Well, I've never backpacked in the rain. It looks like I'm gonna get my chance today. Hey guys, I just hit the road at sunup today. I got 550 miles to go, heading up to Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. We're gonna be spending our first night at Pete's Lake Campground just south of Munising, and then catch the bus in the morning and hit the National Lakeshore Trail for 3 nights, 4 days. And then on the way home, we're gonna catch a night at Tahquamenon Falls State Park. The sun is out. It's a little bit hot. We got a heat wave moving through right now. It's gonna be in the 70s and 80s for the first couple days, but this is gonna be a great trip. Really appreciate you joining me. Pure Michigan, here we come. My first time ever crossing over into the UP. Lake Michigan on my left and Lake Huron on my right. I finally arrived here at Pete's Lake Campground, just south of Munising, about 10 miles. I gotta be at the Munising Falls Visitor Center by 8 a.m. tomorrow to catch the all-tran bus, so I'm kind of going through everything, making sure I got it as light as possible. There's probably a few things I'm going to leave in my truck. I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb and pick out the junk I don't need, take the bare essentials. It's going to be really hot out, so I can pack really light on clothes and don't need to take my sleeping bag. My Costco quilt will be fine. I got a double Costco quilt here on the bottom and a single Costco quilt inside, and that's all I'm going to need tonight. It's going to be like mid-60s every night. This is a beautiful campground. There's only about 5 or 6 people here, and there's like 40 sites. We just had torrential downpours as I was driving across the UP to get here, and it stopped recently, but everything's wet, so I probably won't be able to have a fire. I'm going to have to use my little backpacking stove to cook dinner tonight, and probably just have a mountain house meal. But there's a lake right over there. We'll go check it out in a little bit. Pete's Lake. I'm out here on Pete's Lake. Wait till you see this. This is across the road from where I'm camping. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely beautiful. It's dead calm. The skies are clearing. So it was like 89 in Ohio today, and even in Michigan until I crossed the bridge into the UP. And then it rained and it really cooled things down. Man, this is absolutely perfect. All right guys, I'm finally here at the Grand Sable Visitor Center, ready to begin the hike. It's about 72 degrees, about a 10-mile-an-hour wind. There's the beginning of the trail. I'm ready to get this started. All right, my first step onto the trail. Here we go. There's the first sand dunes across the street there in my background. Right over those dunes is Lake Superior. I can't wait to see it. About a half-mile in on this hike, I got out my other camera to put it on the tripod. It's just a little Joby Gorilla Pod type thing, and it was broken. So that threw a wrench into my video plans. We're just gonna have to make do with setting the camera on the ground or propped up on logs. It's definitely gonna make things a little more difficult. So on my ride in the Outram bus from Munising to Grand Sable Visitor Center, I met some interesting people. I met 2 guys named Tom and Tim from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. and they're starting up ahead here at Log Slide, which is where I'm heading to next. I got about 2.5 miles to Log Slide. So it's always neat the people you meet when you're out backpacking and traveling. Really interesting folks out there. When I was on the Altran bus coming up here, the gravity of the situation started to settle in. I didn't have my truck with me. Seemed like I was so far away. But yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at first, considering I am so far from home and knowing that my cell coverage is probably going to be almost non-existent here pretty soon. But I'm really enjoying this. I like solo hiking. I get to do my own hike. I don't have to worry about anyone else's food and water, hiking speed, bathroom breaks. I can do exactly what I want when I want to do it. Now, I'm sure eventually I'm going to miss some companionship and having someone to talk to, but I'll probably meet some nice people along the trail eventually. But solo backpacking is very enjoyable to me. You can enjoy some peace and quiet and solitude and do some thinking and just enjoy this creation all around us that God has given us to enjoy. All right, I made it to Log Slide. Let's go check this out. The sun is brutal out here. Like, feels like it's 80. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Oh man. Wow, that is vast. Looks like the ocean out there. This was worth it for sure. Holy moly, that is just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Stunning. All right, let's go down this puppy. Whew. Some deep stuff. All right. Whew. It's gonna be a workout coming back up. I'm glad I got my dirty girl gaiters on. I still got sand on my shoes, even with them on. It's coming up underneath them, I think. Packing sand into them. Almost there. Hope this wasn't a bad idea. All right, we made it. Finally. Oh my gosh, this is not gonna be fun. All right, let's feel this water. I actually brought a thermometer with me. And I didn't bring it with me down here, but I'll find out what the temperature is on 12 Mile Beach. I would guess about 65. Feels pretty good. Oh my gosh. I'm about halfway back up. This is a freaking killer. Definitely testing out my cardio. It feels like I'm climbing in a giant mound of brown sugar. All right, just got back up from seeing Log Slide, sand dunes, and we're back on the trail. 2 miles to Sable Lighthouse and 3.5 to Hurricane River. Let's get rolling. Another beautiful view here. Oh, I want to go down there and swim in that so bad. Benchmark campground can't come soon enough because I am hot and ready to get in the water and cleaned up and cooled off. This part of the trail right here is pretty nice. You can hear the lake washing up on the beach as you walk along. You know, we're only 5 or 10 feet above the water. At any point you can walk down there and get refreshed. All right, we just came out of the woods, and this is the Sable light station. I'll tell you what, it seems like every time you get out in the sun, you get destroyed by these little black flies. They just look like house flies. It's amazing how fast they bite you. It's the second they land on you, they're biting you. And it just feels about like a mosquito bite. It's not real bad, but it's a freaking pain in the butt. Now we're out here in the open where it's breezy. They're not so bad. It's when you're close to the water. So I'm here at the Sable Lighthouse, and I went in to get a tour to the top. I was going to walk the stairs to the top. The charge was $3. And I was like, why not? I'm here. I'll probably never be here again. The problem is they can't make change. So all I have is $20 bills. So it would have cost me $20 to go to the top. So we're gonna have to pass on that. It's not worth $20 to me. Oh well. Between the breeze and moving quickly, you can keep most of the flies off of you. A little more difficult to walk in this, but it's worth it to come down here and see the water. This is not easy to walk on. It wears you out quick. Boy, am I glad to be off all those stones back there. I just got off of them about 50 yards ago. Man, that was killer. It was very difficult walking. I had to watch every step. And you're rolling all around on them. Now we're on a beautiful beach. Oh, I'm getting tore up by these flies. Good night. Oh man, that looks refreshing. Looks like a fun ride on a tube right there. All the way into the lake. It was like 10 degrees cooler on that bridge. Oh man, the flies are just... I haven't stopped eating lunch. It's like 2:30. I've just been snacking while I'm walking. I really want to stop and eat some lunch. Some ramens or a Mountain House meal, but it's... I'll get eaten alive by flies if I stop, so... I only got 2 miles to my campground, so I think I'm just going to try to head all the way there before I eat. There's a lot of these little streams. I think every half mile, got a pretty little stream running into the Superior. All right, finally made it to Benchmark. Got the hammock all set up. Let's go check the beach out. Oh wow, I didn't realize we were this high above the water. Cool. A little bit of a hike down there. I'm gonna take a little swim. All right, I brought my handy dandy pH, EC, and temperature gauge, and we're gonna see how cold the water is. You can see that right now I'm testing electrical conductivity. This water is very, very pure and clean. The only way you can get any lower than that is to have reverse osmosis water or distilled water. It's kind of breezy out here and the waves keep getting in my way. High, really high pH. 9.5 pH. The temperature is 65.5. Not bad. It's about how the Gulf of Mexico is in the wintertime. Well, I'm just sitting here chilling in my Helinox chair. I am worn out. It's only 4 o'clock. Well, the sun is setting. I got my campground on the shore doing some time-lapse sunset, and this is what happened on the way down. I caught a stump and ripped back a chunk of skin. That's going to be real fun to deal with. I guess that's why you bring first aid kits. Alright, it's morning, day 2, and this is where we hung out last night. Forgot to get any footage of it around the fire, but just finishing up packing up right now and having some breakfast here at Benchmark. Alright, everything's tore down, packed up, and ready to hit the trail. It was really warm last night. It never got below 70 degrees. So I had a Costco quilt on top of me, and it was probably only on me half the night because it was so stinking hot. I probably could have got by without even using an underquilt last night. I'm getting ready to do some stretching before I hit the trail, and one last look here at Benchmark. Alright, we're back on the trail. Got my Honeycrisp with me. I know they're heavy, but I had to bring 3 or 4 with me. I love having an apple first thing in the morning after a mountain house. So I feel pretty good. And just as long as I keep myself fueled during the day, I should do fine. It's only 10.2 miles to Coves Campground, which is where I'm heading. So got lots of time. It's only 9 o'clock. So I got plenty of time to stop and see the sights on the way. We're going to be walking through 12-mile campground here in just a minute. Dispose of some trash and fill up the water bottles. And we'll be good to go. I forgot to mention that that cut I got in the bottom of my foot last night walking down the sand to the beach. That folded back, it took off a flap of skin still hanging there, about the size of a dime, and I am so lucky that didn't go any deeper. It just took a thick layer of heel skin off, and I cleaned it up with an antiseptic pad and put a band-aid. I left the skin flap there, put it back on the wound, and bandaged it down with a regular band-aid, and then a great big long piece of Leuco tape. That stuff's amazing. It really sticks good. So I'm hoping it doesn't cause me a problem. I can feel it a little bit right now as I walk, but it's not too bad. If that piece of root coming out of the sand would have went deeper into my heel and really opened me up, I probably would have had to bail off this trail. This campground is absolutely gorgeous. If I was to come up here with my camper or even tent camping with my family, I would definitely stay here. It is beautiful. Right on the beach too. The only problem is it fills up very quickly. There's no reservations. It's first come, first serve. So I imagine Wednesday and Thursday people probably start rolling in here, especially during the busy season. Maybe not so much now after Labor Day, but I did hear at the Munising Falls Visitor Center when I was there yesterday that 12-mile beach was already filled up, because I considered coming here for my first night, my pre-hike night, and I'm glad I didn't, because it would have took me over an hour, at least an hour, to get back to Munising to hop on the bus, and I would have had to get up at like 5 a.m. to make it. So choosing Pete's Lake over 12-mile beach was a good decision. North Country Trail. I always thought it was just called the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore Trail, but it's actually called the North Country Trail because it's part of the North Country Trail. So I was talking to one of the campers back there at one of these beautiful sites with a view overlooking about 100 yards of woods and then to the Lake Superior. It was site number 25, and they said they had to come in Wednesday morning to get that site, and at that time there was only 7 left. The whole campground only has 30 sites, so if you want to get a site that is perfect, you probably need to come in on Tuesday. And if you're there between Memorial Day and Labor Day, you better just come in Monday when everybody's leaving from the prior week. I was talking to Tim and Tom at camp last night about these flies, You know, I've been spraying some Sawyer Picardin around my ankles and shins and calves. It seems that's where these flies attack you most, and especially when you're sweaty. I guess they're stable flies, shore flies, because they're always around the sand and the shore. Their bites don't hurt that bad, and they don't swell up and itch that bad. They're just annoying. Definitely nothing like a black fly or a deer fly or a horse fly. So I'm fortunate that the only fly we have to deal with is the shore fly. When I started my hike this morning and put my pack on, I was like, dang, it's starting to feel a little lighter. So I got to the water station at 12 Mile Beach and filled up and put 2 liters back in my backpack, and I realized, yeah, my pack is still freaking heavy. So it makes a big difference when you don't have water in there. Been seeing a lot of these toadstools, some kind of fungus. Man, I wish I knew if they were edible. I'd put those in my ramens. A bunch of them. This is beautiful through here. This is the kind of hiking that I was expecting. All these pines along the lakeshore. What a beautiful section to hike. All right, I'm only about an hour in today, a couple miles, and I got a little spot right here by the lake. Boy, I can never get enough of that. It's beautiful. But I can peek around the corner here, way up ahead. I see some kind of rock outcropping. All the cliffs are coming. You can barely see it through all the haze. Can't wait to get there, but I am enjoying this part immensely. I decided to take a little break from the woods and walk on the beach a little bit. Check out how white the sand is back here. It's amazing. Other than the pebbles, it feels like walking on the beach in Florida. I don't know if you can pick that out in the camera, but I can see the cliffs up ahead, miles and miles ahead. I have no idea how far that is, but every time you stop, you get attacked by shore flies. Little garter snake. He's a quick one. Holy moly. If I was doing this again, I would skip the first 5 miles from Grand Sable Visitor Center to Log Slide, because it looks just like anywhere else in Ohio or Michigan. And I would start at Log Slide and probably come to this spot, 7 Mile, for my first night. Absolutely beautiful. Close to water, close to the beach, easy access. What more could you ask for? I was just thinking while I was walking along, and there's plenty of time to do thinking up here. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of my very first solo backpacking trip at Burr Oak State Park in Ohio. Going solo, having a lot of ultralight gear, seeing some beautiful areas. It is fun, I love it. Still need to work on getting my pack weight down a little bit. Still heavier than I'd like. Mainly it's the food and clothes that I'm still trying to get dialed in to be as light as possible. It is very peaceful and quiet. We're a couple hundred yards off the lake shore, and the forest has changed a little bit. It's probably more of an old growth forest. A lot of big pines. It's just dense and lush. Wow, I just gotta stop and gaze at all this real quick. Man, this is just beautiful.
firework. Carrying it around, it's literally burning a hole in my
You think
pocket.
he's out of
Well, if I was staying here, I'd probably try doing some fishing in here. Oh, wow. See how this tastes. Oh. Just came out of the woods for a nice view. Oh, that water looks so refreshing. Here's where we're at. 2 miles to Beaver Creek and about 3.5 to Coves, which is where I'm going. That looks like a Caribbean beach down there. If it wasn't for the process of drying my clothes out or putting wet clothes back on or hiking in wet clothes, I would probably go down there and swim and cool off. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm walking pretty close to the lakeshore, and I keep walking up the views like this. Ouch! Getting eaten alive by flies though. Oh, wow. If there were ocean waves out there, you would know this was not the ocean. I finally made it to Coves. Looks like that's the trail down to the campsites. And I was hoping we were closer to the water. Oh my goodness, I guess it's not that bad. Yeah. All right, site number 3. I'm kind of liking this. Nice and dark. With these big pine trees, hemlocks, wherever they are. And lots of places to hang my hammock. This is pretty nice. All right, well, it's 5:30. It's starting to, you can see where the sun's at. It's starting to work its way down, so it's already getting a little dark in here. Thought I'd show you around camp a little bit. I think this is the best campsite in the whole Coves campground. Site number 3. It's got a fire ring. Someone left their clothesline on the trees, so I'm taking advantage of that. And here's where I hung my hammock. Got some of my stuff all sprawled out right there right now. I don't use trekking poles, so first thing I gotta do when I get to camp is find a couple sticks if I want to have my tarp in porch mode. Oh my, this is pretty nice sand. It's blazing out. As far as the eye can see. Coves is right up there on top of the hill, about 50 yards in the woods. All right, time to take a dip. Oh man, did that feel good. It's a little chilly, but man, it is nice. There is a cool breeze blowing in here right now. It feels excellent. But I just got up from swimming down at the lake, and the flies were atrocious. I mean, they were just swarming my legs. So I had to like stay in the water the entire time because I had to be moving constantly in and out of water and shooing the flies off. It was horrible. So, but as soon as you get in the woods, 150 feet away from the beach. They're pretty much gone, and then you just got to deal with the mosquitoes. Well, I'm gonna start us a fire. It's almost 7 o'clock. Finally got me a nice fire started. Collecting firewood is the biggest problem. There's none of it. You got to travel about 150 yards out of camp to find any wood at all. I mean, there's my pile. I've got some bigger stuff deeper back there. I got to go get it. Every night the sunset is behind the clouds. Still beautiful as I get eaten alive by flies. Day 2 has come to a close. It's almost 8 o'clock and it's definitely calm and quiet out here at Coves Campground. Got me a fire to relax with for about an hour, and then we're going to hit the sack and hopefully wake up refreshed for day 3. Good morning. It's day 3. I got to be a little quiet because there's 4 other people camping around me. But it is starting out to be a beautiful day. The sun's just rising. It's almost 8 o'clock, but it stays so darn dark back here in Coves that you wouldn't know it's that late. I woke up about 6:50 thinking that it was still in the middle of the night. But I slept pretty good. It was so daggone hot last night. One of the hottest nights I've ever experienced without AC, trying to get to sleep. It had to be close to 80 for quite a while. I had to drop my underquilt because it was so hot I couldn't stand it being up against me. Just having that little bit of a breeze underneath the one layer of a hammock felt really nice. And I couldn't put a top quilt on until like 2 a.m. It was so hot. So, enjoying a little breakfast skillet right now. I already had a cup of coffee. I'll be breaking this camp down here in a few minutes and hitting the trail. Today I have 8.9 miles to Mosquito Creek, Mosquito River. I forget which one it is. Alright, well, everything broke down here and hit the trail, and we got some beautiful sights today. So I'm really looking forward to today. I'm all packed up. Time to hit the trail. Saying goodbye to Coves Campground. It was the best one so far, except maybe for 7 Mile. If I was to stay at another one, I would pick 7 Mile. That was beautiful, right on the river. All right, double checked everything. Looks like we're good to go. It just amazes me how this has an ocean feel. It doesn't have the salt air smell, but just has the feeling of being in an ocean. Oh wow, I gotta go down there. And I can see Grand Portal Point from here. Let's go check it out. Look at that. I'm gonna be walking by that today. Well, it just keeps getting better and better. Hopefully I got enough battery juice left on my power banks to capture some of the real beauty yet to come. That's a steep set of stairs. Here's the other side. Well, it's like a private little beach down there. What a hidden little gem. Wow. You know I have to go out there. That is awesome. That's got to be close to 80 foot there. So this is how close the trail is to an 80-foot drop off. This is insane. Look at that. I mean, I'm 3 foot from falling 80 foot to my death. Wow. That is spectacular. Seems like every turn I make, I come into a view like this. Wow. Pretty amazing. It's really slowing my pace down. It was, every 5 or 10 minutes I'm stopping to take in the view. Spray Falls must be visible from here. I think I can hear it. Oh yeah. What a view. Magnificent. This is the beginning of Spray Falls right here. Let's take a little walk down this trail and see if we can see the top. Oh yeah, here we go. Nice. I'm getting right out to the edge. Wow. That's as far as I can reach right there. All right, I'm over here at the other side of Spray Falls. Pretty good view of it going into the lake. Pretty good view everywhere you look. We're getting closer and closer to Grand Portal Point. I'll be walking around that today. Really looking forward to it. I was really glad I got to enjoy Spray Falls from both sides. And then on the one side, the beautiful rock ledges, picturesque, the beauty of what you expect to see when you come to Pictured Rocks. Finally getting a little taste of it, and I absolutely love it. I'm ready for more. My gimbal's dead after 110 clips on the GoPro. Pretty grand. The views keep coming. Wow. Pretty awesome. Oh, I got a chipmunk over there trying to take my protein bar. Here's the way to see Pictured Rocks from a pontoon boat. That looks pretty nice. Getting closer to Grand Portal. And here is a site I've seen in many photographs right up here. Wow. Chapel Rock. Man, that is beautiful. One lonely tree growing on it. Well, I've never backpacked in the rain. It looks like I'm gonna get my chance today. Coming down pretty good here at Chapel Rock. Time to get wet. Let's go down and check out Chapel Beach.